What is going on, everyone? My name is Jason, and this is 6 months with the iPhone XR. Okay, out of all the iPhones launched last year, the one that definitely stood out the most was this guy, the iPhone XR. In comparison to the flagship XS and XS Max, the XR represented Apple's quote-unquote budget smartphone offering. Now I want to be careful when using that word budget here, because it really doesn't apply to this phone, as the starting price on the base model is $750, which isn't budget to most people, me included, but more importantly, it doesn't perform in a way or come with a lot of the limitations that often are associated with more common budget phones. Now this has made the XR a pretty big hit, and the smartphone outsold its flagship brothers to be the best-selling iPhone of 2018. Well, I've had this gorgeous product red XR for almost 6 months now, and I wanted to do a follow-up review on how it's held up during that time and whether or not I think the phone is worth it. Now this isn't going to be a comprehensive review of the XR and all its features and components. It's going to focus more on my user experience over the past 6 months, so if you want a more detailed review, I'll leave a link to the more traditional review I did for the XR in the right-hand corner above. Now before we get into the review, if you're into checking out the latest consumer tech products before you buy them, or if you're just a tech head like me, I make a video like this every single week, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell icon so you can be the first to know when a new JSL review is out and you don't miss anything. And real quick, if you guys picked up an iPhone XR, let me know in the comments if you guys are super satisfied with it or if you're having regrets. Curious to see how most of you feel about it. That being said, let's get into the iPhone XR. Okay, so from a physical design perspective, whereas the XS and XS Max adopted the design of the ultra-popular iPhone X using the same high-end build material, it made them virtually identical when it came to look and feel. The XR, on the other hand, kind of is a hybrid between the iPhone X and the older iPhones. Think about it this way. If the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X had a baby, that baby would be the XR. It has the glass sandwich design of the X, but maintains an aluminum chassis rather than using the more premium stainless steel. Now I get it. It's aluminum, and it's a cheaper material, which helps the XR get to its price point, but after 6 months of going back and forth between it and the XS, I really don't mind the XR's design choice when it comes to build material. In no way does it come off cheap. I mean, it's what most leading flagships use today, so really it shouldn't even be seen as a design sacrifice. And Apple's decision to match the frame's color with the 6 different colors the XR comes in was ultimately a good one. I had some initial concerns that the aggressive coloring would make the XR come off gimmicky or toyish, but if anything, the look of the XR, particularly the product red one I have here, has only improved with time. There's absolutely no fading or wear on the phone, and I'm happy to say that the bright color choices of the iPhone XR aren't just a novelty, at least to me. Now another area in which the iPhone XR borrowed from the X is the implementation of that super immersive display. No forehead and chin like the older iPhones, which is great to see, but there is a slightly bigger gap between the display circumference. So no lie, I was nervous about this when I first got my hands on the XR, as it was pretty noticeable for me as I was coming from the XS, and I thought it was gonna bug me like no other. But happy to say that much like the notch, you really don't notice the larger bezel after a few minutes of using the phone. The screen to body ratio is still fantastic, and content consumption on the XR is wonderful. But let's not avoid the 800-pound gorilla in the room here. Yes, this is not an OLED display. This is in fact an LCD display, much like the ones found in the older iPhones, coming in at a fairly large 6.1 inches in size and with a resolution of 1792 by 828, making for a pixel density of 326 ppi. A pretty far cry in terms of comparing the display spec sheets with other flagships available today, and by far the most polarizing design choice Apple decided to make on this phone. But here's the rub, folks. After 6 months of use, I can say this with confidence, the XR's display doesn't suck, and it's probably one of the best LCD displays on a phone today. It's super bright and evenly lit, colors are vibrant and just as accurate as the XS, the contrast is excellent despite not being an OLED, and images and video still come off really sharp. And honestly, 98% of people won't know the difference between the XR's display and the way more expensive one on the XS, and the 2% that will, they're going to be aggressively pixel peeping in order to do so, and from a day-to-day usage standpoint, the XR's display is more than enjoyable. And though it's by far the biggest cost savings the phone has in terms of hardware, it doesn't impede or jeopardize the user experience in any noticeable way. And look, at the end of the day, most people who picked up the XR or are interested in it probably came or are coming from older iPhones. And in that regard, the XR is a pretty good upgrade. Okay, so let's talk about the XR's performance over the past 6 months. One of the strongest selling points of the XR is that it leverages the same ultra-powerful A12 Bionic chip that's in both the XS and the XS Max, making for blazing fast performance, which I'm happy to say has not slowed down over time. Navigating around iOS is just as buttery smooth as it is on the XS, apps still load fast despite almost maxing out my 64 gigabytes of storage, and I can still play spec-intensive games without any hiccups or delay. And you know, it wouldn't be totally out of the question, given the relative significant price difference between the XR and the XS, if Apple decided to go with an older processor on the XR to differentiate it more from their flagship offerings, and their decision to go with the A12 Bionic here, without a doubt makes this one of the best performing smartphones still available today. Another area where Apple didn't cheap out on the XR is the inclusion of Face ID, what is in my opinion the best unlocking feature on any smartphone available. I'll be the first to admit that Face ID is an acquired taste, but there's no denying that it's a truly sophisticated technology, and it's great to see included on the XR. Now, an area of performance where the XR exceeds those of the XS and the XS Max is battery life. The 2,942 mAh battery, despite being smaller than the one found in the XS Max, is able to give you more screen on time due to the lower power consumption of the LCD. Now, the inclusion of the A12 Bionic chip also allows the XR to take advantage of all the significant camera upgrades the XS comes with. Majority of the camera improvements made to all the iPhones in 2018, which are very noticeable and well executed, are primarily software enhancements. The XR has access to the Smart HDR feature and a much improved portrait mode on both the front and back camera, making for the best image quality that an iPhone has ever had, and just as good as the XS and XS Max. Sure, it doesn't have a secondary zoom or a wide-angle lens or a dedicated night mode, but the camera experience on the XR is still pretty great, and I've been continuously impressed over the past 6 months at the quality of the images the phone is able to produce. Pictures are sharp, colors are vibrant, and the contrast and dynamic range is considerably better than even the iPhone X. Portrait mode photos have continued to see improvement in terms of edge detection, and the XR does a really good job mimicking the effects of a professional DSLR style photo. All in all, the camera experience on this phone has been outstanding, and even 6 months later, I'm kind of amazed at how good images can look using this camera. Okay, so at the end of the day, 6 months with the XR has left me even more impressed than when I first got the phone in my hands. The look, the feel, the user experience, and the performance has all stood the test of time, and I still consider the XR to be the best value iPhone available today. I mean, it gives you so much of what the XS and the XS Max offer for a less expensive price tag, and it's not surprising to see that the XR has been significantly outselling the flagship iPhones. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with this phone, and still would recommend it over the XS and the XS Max to most people who are looking to upgrade. But hey, those are my thoughts. And I know the XR is a bit of a polarizing device, so I want to get your opinion. What do you guys think of the XR? If you guys picked one up, has your experience with the phone been as good as mine? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Okay, that's about it for this review. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it, it really helps me out. If you guys have any questions about the XR, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.